The story The Kalevala begins with the traditional Finnish creation myth, leading into stories of the creation of the earth, plants, creatures, and the sky. Creation, healing, combat and internal storytelling are often accomplished by the characters, involved singing of their exploits or desires. Many parts of the stories involve a character hunting or requesting lyrics, spells, to acquire some skill, such as boat building or the mastery of iron making. As well as magical spell casting and singing, there are many stories of lust, romance, kidnapping and seduction. The protagonists of the stories often have to accomplish feats that are unreasonable or impossible, which they often fail to achieve, leading to tragedy and humiliation. The Sampo is a pivotal element of the whole work. Many actions and their consequences are caused by the Sampo itself or a character's interaction with the Sampo. It is described as a magical talisman or device that brings its possessor great fortune and prosperity, but its precise nature has been the subject of debate to the present day. There are also similarities with mythology and folklore from other cultures, for example the Kullervo character and his story bearing some likeness to the Greek Oedipus. The similarity of the virginal maiden Marge added to the Christian Virgin Mary is also striking. The arrival of Marjatta's son in the final song spelling the end of Väinämöinen's reign over Kalevala is similar to the arrival of Christianity bringing about the end of paganism in Finland and Europe at large. 59 Synopses. Main article, Kalevala, Synopses, Aino triptych by Akseli Gallen-Kallo 1891. Left, the first meeting of Aino and Väinämöinen. Right, Aino laments her woes and decides to end her life rather than marry an old man. Middle, the end of the story arc. Väinämöinen catches the Aino fish but is unable to keep hold of her. The first Väinämöinen cycle songs 1 and 2, the poem begins with an introduction by the singers. The earth is created from the shards of a duck egg and the first man, Väinämöinen, is born to the goddess Ilmatter. Väinämöinen brings trees and life to the barren world. Songs 3 to 5, Väinämöinen encounters the jealous Joukahainen and they do battle. Joukahainen loses and pledges his sister's hand in return for his life. The sister, Aino, soon drowns herself in the sea. Songs 6 to 10, Väinämöinen heads to Pohjola to propose to the Maiden of the North. Joukahainen attacks Väinämöinen again. Väinämöinen floats for days on the sea until he is carried by an eagle to Pohjola. He makes a deal with Louhi to get Ilmarinen to create the Sampo. Ilmarinen refuses to go to Pohjola, so Väinämöinen forces him against his will. The Sampo is forged. Ilmarinen returns without a bride. The first Lemminkäinen cycle songs 11 to 15, Lemminkäinen sets out to Saari, English, the island, in search of a bride. He and the maid Kylaki make vows to each other, but thinking Lemminkäinen has repudiated his, the maiden repudiates hers, so Lemminkäinen discards her and sets off to woo the Maiden of the North. His mother tries to stop him and be the voice of reason, but Lemminkäinen disregards her warnings, claiming that when he's in danger, his hairbrush starts to bleed. After a long journey to the north, he asks Louhi for her daughter's hand and she assigns tasks to him. While hunting for the Tuonelan Joutsen, Swan of Death, Lemminkäinen is shot by the Pohjolan Payman, the shepherd of the north, who is annoyed by his bad behavior and disrespect, and falls into the river of death. As he lies dead in the river, his mother at home notices blood flowing from Lemminkäinen's hairbrush. Remembering his son's words, she goes in search of him. With a rake given to her by Ilmarinen, she collects the pieces of Lemminkäinen scattered in the river and pieces him back together, a bee bringing her the ingredients necessary to revive him. Lemminkaisen 80, Lemminkäinen's mother, by Akseli Gallen-Kallo 1897. Lemminkäinen's mother on the banks of the river of Tuonela reviving her son. The second Väinämöinen cycle songs 16 to 18, Väinämöinen builds a boat to travel to Pohjola once again in search of a bride. He visits Tuonela, English, the land of death, and is held prisoner. Väinämöinen uses his magical powers to escape and warns his people of the dangers present in Tuonela. Väinämöinen now sets out to gather the necessary spells from Antero Vipunen. Väinämöinen is swallowed and has to torture Antero Vipunen for the spells and his escape. His boat completed, Väinämöinen sets sail for Pohjola. Ilmarinen learns of this and resolves to go to Pohjola himself to woo the maiden. The Maiden of the North chooses Ilmarinen. Ilmarinen's wedding songs 19 to 25, Ilmarinen is assigned dangerous unreasonable tasks in order to win the hand of the Maiden of the North. He accomplishes these tasks with some help from the maiden herself. In preparation for the wedding, beer is brewed, a giant steer is slaughtered and invitations are sent out. Lemminkäinen is uninvited. The wedding party begins and all are happy. Väinämöinen sings and lauds the people of Pohjola. The bride and bridegroom are prepared for their roles in matrimony. The couple arrive home and are greeted with drink and viands. The second Lemminkäinen cycle songs 26-30, Lemminkäinen is resentful for not having been invited to the wedding and sets out immediately for Pohjola. On his arrival he is challenged to and wins a duel with Sariola, the Master of the North. An army is conjured to enact revenge upon Lemminkäinen and he flees to his mother. She advises him to head to the island of refuge. On his return he finds his house burned to the ground. He goes to Pohjola with his companion Tiara to get his revenge, but Louhi freezes the seas and Lemminkäinen has to return home. When he arrives home he is reunited with his mother and vows to build larger better houses to replace the ones burnt down. Kullervo marches to war, fresco by Akseli Gallenkaula, 1901. Kullervo goes to war against Untamo and his people. The Kullervo cycle songs 31-36, Untamo kills his brother Kalevala's people, but spares his wife who later begets Kullervo. Untamo sees the boy as a threat, and after trying to have him killed several times without success, sells Kullervo as a slave to Ilmarinen. Ilmarinen's wife torments and bullies Kullervo, so he tricks her into being torn apart by a pack of wolves and bears. Kullervo escapes from Ilmarinen's homestead and learns from an old lady in the forest that his family is still alive, and is soon reunited with them. While returning home from paying taxes, he meets and seduces a young maiden, only to find out that she is his sister. She kills herself and Kullervo returns home distressed. He decides to wreak revenge upon Untamo and sets out to find him. Kullervo wages war on Untamo and his people, laying all to waste, and then returns home, where he finds his farm deserted. Filled with remorse and regret, he kills himself in the place where he seduced his sister. The second Ilmarinen cycle songs 37-38, grieving for his lost love, Ilmarinen forges himself a wife out of gold and silver, but finds her to be cold and discards her. He heads for Pohjola and kidnaps the youngest daughter of Louhi. She is outraged and insults him badly, so he sings magic and turns her into a bird. He returns to Kalevala and tells Väinämöinen about the prosperity and wealth that has met Pohjola's people thanks to the Sampo. The plunder of the Sampo, the third Väinämöinen cycle, songs 39-44, Väinämöinen, Ilmarinen and Lemminkäinen sail to Pohjola to recover the Sampo. While on their journey they kill a monstrous pike and from its jawbone the first cantle is made. The heroes arrive in Pohjola and demand a share of the Sampo's wealth or they will take the whole Sampo by force. Louhi musters her army, however Väinämöinen lulls to sleep everyone in Pohjola with his music. The Sampo is taken from its vault of stone and the heroes set out for home. Louhi conjures a great army, turns herself into an eagle and fights for the Sampo. In the battle the Sampo is lost to the sea and destroyed. Louhi's revenge on Kalevala songs 45-49, enraged at the loss of the Sampo, Louhi sends the people of Kalevala diseases and a great bear to kill their cattle. She hides the sun and the moon and steals fire from Kalevala. Väinämöinen heals all of the ailments and, with Ilmarinen, restores the fire. Väinämöinen forces Louhi to return the sun and the moon to the skies. The Marjatta cycle song 50, the shy young virgin Marjatta becomes impregnated from a lingonberry she ate while tending to her flock. She begets a son. Väinämöinen orders the killing of the boy, but the boy begins to speak and reproaches Väinämöinen for ill judgment. The child is then baptized king of Karelia. Väinämöinen sails away leaving only his songs and cantle as legacy. The poem ends and the singers sing a farewell and thank their audience. Characters: an ancient Finnish hero illustration from inside front of Volume 1 of Kalevala. Väinämöinen. Väinämöinen is the central character of the Kalevala, a shamanistic hero with a magical power of song and music, similar to that of Orpheus. He is born of Ilmatter and contributes to the creation of Earth as it is today. Many of his travels resemble shamanistic journeys, most notably one where he visits the belly of a ground giant, Antero Vipunen, to find the songs of boat building. Väinämöinen created and plays the cantle, a Finnish stringed instrument that resembles and is played like a zither 60-61. Väinämöinen's search for a wife is a central element in many stories, although he never finds one. One of his potential brides, Joukahanen's sister Aino, drowns herself instead of marrying him. He is the leading member of the group which steals the Sampo from the people of Pohjola. Ilmarinen Seppo Ilmarinen, is a heroic artificer, comparable to the Germanic Wayland and the Greek Daedalus. He crafted the dome of the sky, the Sampo, and various other magical devices featured in the Kalevala. Ilmarinen is the second member of the group who steal the Sampo. Ilmarinen, like Väinämöinen, also has many stories told of his search for a wife, reaching the point where he forges one of gold. Lemminkäinen. Lemminkäinen, a handsome, arrogant and reckless ladies' man, is the son of Lempi, English, lust or favorite. He shares a very close relationship with his mother, who revives him after he has been drowned in the river of Tuonela while pursuing the object of his romantic desires. This section of the Kalevala echoes the myth of Osiris. Lemminkainen is the third member of the group which steals the Sampo from Pohjola. Ukko, English, Old Man, is the god of sky and thunder, and the leading deity mentioned within the Kalevala. His character corresponds to Thor and Zeus. John Martin Crawford wrote that the name may be related the obsolete Hungarian word for an old man, ag. 18. Jukkahainen is a base, young man who arrogantly challenges Väinämöinen to a singing contest which he loses. In exchange for his life Jukkahainen promises his young sister Aino to Väinämöinen. Jukkahainen attempts to gain his revenge on Väinämöinen by killing him with a crossbow but only succeeds in killing Väinämöinen's horse. Jukkahainen's actions lead to Väinämöinen promising to build a Sampo in return for Louhi rescuing him. Louhi, the mistress of the north, is the shamanistic matriarch of the people of Pohjola, a people rivaling those of Kalevala. She is the cause of much trouble for Kalevala and its people. Louhi at one point saves Väinämöinen's life. She has many daughters whom the heroes of Kalevala make many attempts, some successful, at seducing. Louhi plays a major part in the battle to prevent the heroes of Kalevala from stealing back the Sampo which as a result is ultimately destroyed. She is a powerful witch with a skill almost on a par with that of Väinämöinen's. Kullervo is the vengeful, mentally ill and tragic son of Kalevo. He was abused as a child and sold into slavery to Ilmarinen. He is put to work and treated badly by Ilmarinen's wife whom he later kills. Kullervo is a misguided and troubled youth often at odds with himself and his situation. He often goes into berserk rage and in the end commits suicide. Marjatta is the young virgin of Kalevala. She becomes pregnant from eating a lingonberry. When her labor begins she is expelled from her parents' home and leaves to find a place where she can sauna and give birth. She is turned away from numerous places but finally finds a place in the forest and gives birth to a son. Marjatta's nature, impregnation, and searching for a place to give birth are in allegory to the Virgin Mary and the Christianization of Finland. 59 Marjatta's son is later condemned to death by Väinämöinen for being born out of wedlock. The boy in turn chastises Väinämöinen and is later crowned king of Karelia. This angers Väinämöinen who leaves Kalevala after bequeathing his songs and cantle to the people as his legacy. The Kalevala is a major part of Finnish culture and history, and has impacted the arts in Finland, and in other cultures around the world. Daily life. The influence of the Kalevala in daily life and business in Finland is tangible. Names and places associated with the Kalevala have been adopted as company and brand names and even as place names. There are several places within Finland with Kalevala-related names, for example, the district of Tapiola in the city of Espoo, the district of Pohjola in the city of Turku, the district of Metsälä in the city of Vantaa and the district of Kalevala in the city of Tampere. The historic provinces of Savo and Karjala and the Russian town of Hiitola are all mentioned within the songs of the Kalevala. In addition, the Russian town of Ukta was in 1963 renamed Kalevala, and in the United States a small community founded in 1900 by Finnish immigrants is named Kalevala, Michigan, and many of the street names are taken from the Kalevala. The banking sector of Finland has had at least 3 Kalevala-related brands: Sampo, name changed to Danske Bank in late 2012, Pohjola and Tapiola. The jewelry company Kalevala Koru was founded in 1935 on the 100th anniversary of the publication of the Old Kalevala. It specializes in the